Oh, mama. I'd rather just set them on fire.
Okay, so don't set them on fire.
Oh, it stinks. Hold on, this poos.
An 8-man student flat that's become a disgrace to themselves and the city. They're moving out and have promised Amy by now the place will be spick and span.
There was quite a bit of rubbish left out, like we've got beds and bags of rubbish, we've got couches. I just want to make sure that that's moved.
Back of the envelope mathematics tells Amy 8 students equals 16 hands. 16 hands is a tall horse and a lot of horsepower to clean up this property with.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, eh?
Amy is greeted by one of the tenants, long on shorts,
Obviously, you guys gave me a call the other day.
but short on flatmates. All but one have scarpered, leaving him with a lot of rubbish and a lot of explaining to do.
Do you know we put some good effort into cleaning this place? We really did. It was just me and my flatmate Sanjay, and all the other boys just left. And
Yeah.
Amy knows a good effort when she sees one. This is not a good effort.
Do you want us to take away all these beds and stuff?
yeah, you might have to, because I don't see how we'd even be able to do it.
And then this here.
I'd rather just set them on fire because they're just such a burden.
Okay, so don't set them on fire.
We're not going to set them on fire.
If you don't want to get rid of these, we'll get somebody to get rid of them.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a key.
It's the front door key.
Yeah, probably.
Thanks.
Has got 6 more of those to find before sunset, or he could be liable.
Real pain in the ass.
The outside is disappointing. What about the inside of the property?
It's probably best if we have a look.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, well,
that's fine. Like,
that's-
we'll go through the house and we'll have a look around. We'll talk it out and
Okay.
we'll put something together.
Jared's going to be the tour guide because Amy wants to see every single room.
Go through each room.
Moving from room to room, Amy is pleased to see the flat isn't filthy.
I'm not too worried if you want to leave the fairy lights in such a masculine house, that's fine.
And there is really only a few things to take down. 10 minutes in a rubbish sack should take care of this.
Maybe, okay, so obviously if we get rid of that.
But this is a large house with many rooms. One room in particular,
This room here, what's happening?
doesn't seem to be on its itinerary.
Like, what's happening with all this?
I was meaning to get rid of it, but then it's just, I forgot.
Wow.
Good Girls property manager Prue has a problem with a capital P.
We're off to property. I want to do a P test while I'm there.
Out of the goodness of her heart, Prue took on a tenant a few weeks back after vaguely getting to know him as a tradesman. Now she's pruning him.
A very pleasant young man and postured very well. He came into the building and said, "Would you give me a chance?" And began really well. Then about 10, 12 weeks ago, it started to get really bad with the arrears.
Aside from the rent arrears, if the place is left in a reasonable state, that would be a good start. Unfortunately, it isn't.
Right.
And the tenants are still in residence, but at least they are making a last-ditch effort to clean up.
What about the 705 arrears?
Dealing with that.
Are you paying that?
The young fellow who took the tenancy has moved out, right next door to his nana's, leaving his 2 flatmates with quite a bit of explaining to do.
Oh, it smells very doggy in here. Look at this.
Yeah,
The dog's been eating or clawing.
that's shocking. They were allowed a small chihuahua, but this damage has not been done by a chihuahua. It's beyond. It's a bigger dog. Yeah. And look at that.
Prue and Linda have only been in one room, but already they have seen and smelt plenty.
Well, I think we can pretty much see what we've got to deal with.
Yeah, I'll flip. message and tell him to get a hold of you.
Yeah,
About
he
that.
won't, of course.
Allegedly, this character has hightailed it off to Blenheim to earn a bit of cash to pay off the rent arrears. Prue is highly sceptical. If the girls thought they could knock off early today for a cheeky shardy, they're very much mistaken.
Stinks in here.
Property managers Jared and Mitchell have had a tenant vacate a property, so they are off to do an inspection, having been advised the place is spick and span.
So this is really a checkup to see how good their cleaning was, what the condition of the property was, and that way we can check that our owner's property has been left in a good state. Hello, Trust Properties. Hello.
First stop, the lounge. And at first glance, it's all looking pretty super, except for the ruined wallpaper.
Mitchell, what do you reckon?
A hole in the door,
It looks like someone's had a little bit of a trip or a fight with the door.
a hideous yellow stain,
That's a dog wee stain.
leftover unisex lingerie,
There's the door handle.
toxic black mould,
Oh dear.
missing cupboard doors, a misguided chandelier, and a kitchen ceiling literally covered in fly excrement.
It looks like flies have had a great time in here. Yeah, you can just see that the tenants haven't really cared for the kitchen.
The hole upstairs is totally unacceptable. But as every red-blooded New Zealander knows, it's what's downstairs that really counts.
Oh, this changes things.
The worst part is we didn't even get invited.
It appears the reason the upstairs was so uncluttered is because everything is downstairs.
It's all just rubbish.
Broken couches, shitloads of bags of rubbish.
And actual rubbish.
Sometimes things don't look quite so bad from a different angle. Maybe this colossal pile of garbage will look a little bit better with some light on it.
Oh, mama.
Maybe not.
What do you think?
You really got to wonder, eh?
Neither Jared nor Mitchell have brought hard hats or high vis to this address. This is a job for their valued associate, Miles. This amount of junk requires a trailer with a cage. But unfortunately, it's almost the long weekend. And Miles isn't picking up.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Cutlass Property Management Executive Amy is at a student flat where most of the flatmates have left, leaving sole occupant with a lot of mess and a lot of explaining to do.
Couches, TV, drawers, crates, the furniture.
Yeah.
What's happening with all this?
The boys next year are going to clean it.
His plan is the age-old practice of leaving all the household items, useful and useless, to next year's intake of students.
Right, okay.
Luckily, Amy's already vetted and accepted them.
It's just so I know, because if I have to get it removed.
But in the farthest recesses of the house, in his room, Amy's keen eye spots something she just can't let slide.
It looks like there's been noodles
Yeah.
thrown. Noodles were like stuck up here. It's just kind of like gone all gross. So, I mean, we're probably just gonna have to get that cleaned up.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He's covered his room in noodles,
Because
but he hasn't covered himself in glory.
the only other thing is the keys.
He should have known Amy wasn't going to forget about the keys.
So you got one, and the others. I think they're somewhere around here. I think they're downstairs, maybe.
Jared now has the unenviable task of tracking down his former flatmates, who could have scattered to the four corners of the globe by now.
8 boys. There's no way that I'm gonna get 8 keys back, but the more I can get back, the better.
Amy calls off the search.
If you could rally up the boys to,
See if anyone's left them here.
yeah, and if not, they can post them back to.
It has until Monday to integrate all the various piles of rubbish into one for Amy to remove. Prue and her associate Linda have discovered not only has their tenant moved out owing over $700 in rent arrears, But the place is in an absolute state.
The wardrobe door's off.
That's horrendous.
Smoke alarms are down.
And the rubbish.
The rubbish is horrendous.
It absolutely stinks.
It does.
There's that smell again.
It pongs.
Look at all the curtains.
It's quite strong in the lounge, but somehow equally strong in the kitchen. Perhaps it's the heat pump.
Yeah, it's dirty. No, yeah. It's filthy.
Popping outside for a breather to avoid dry retching, Prue spots her favourite testing professional. It's Kirsty from Results Group, the testing specialists.
They've been smoking something in here because you can see the colour.
Kirsty gets straight to work. If it's been used at this flat, she'll know.
Most interesting.
And within moments, she finds a that looks exactly like a point bag.
I'll get someone down here, I'm going to change locks and I'm going to get the gardens all scrubbed up.
Even an experienced landscaper is going to take days to tidy up this mess and most likely charge Prue a small fortune.
And what's that?
I don't know. A
Chicken
chicken coop? A dog run?
What was once a modest yet attractive brick and tile unit has been desecrated.
I just get a sense in my waters. I can't trust these people at all.
It's been raining. It looks like it might rain again later and again tomorrow. But that's not going to snuff out the sunny disposition of Good Girls Commander-in-Chief Prue Morale.
Right, let's pop on in. I didn't trim back the bush. Needs a savage Brazilian. But there's no junk here, which is good.
Upon gaining entry, the girls notice the place is spectacularly clean.
Well, the carpet does look better.
But that hideous smell is still there.
Oh, it stinks.
The smell is getting up Prue's nose and on her nerves.
Oh, God, it's vile. We can't do this. No.
It just smells so bad. It is urine. It's urine and just dog poo.
Cat wee or...
It could be.
What about the drape? Hold on,
Don't.
this poos.
Okay, it's still on the curtain.
Exhibit A.
Oh, we have to get the curtains dry cleaned.
We have to throw them away.
Let's do that. Well, let's get that done.
I do wonder whether or not someone just came in here and took a dump in the corner and then just used the drape.
Using the simple process of elimination, Prue concludes this is human feces. Dogs do not have opposable thumbs and aren't generally known for wiping their backsides.
We did a pee test and that was negative.
Yes.
But we didn't do a poo test because that is certainly positive.
If Prue had to choose between poos and pee contamination, she'd opt for the feces every time. After dumping the dumped-on curtains, Prue and Michelle found a new tenant, a lovely tenant.
Does she have a dog?
And there's no dog.
Thank God. Has
No
she got a little
dog.
moggy?
No, nothing.
No moggy?
No.
Not even a
Nothing.
bloody
No,
budgie?
nothing at all.
The Tenancy Tribunal awarded all the costs for the clean-up and rent arrears to the good girls. Trust property manager Jared has returned to the office, hoping his associate Miles is there with his trailer with a cage. He's not. Time is of the essence for landlord and reputation. It looks like multiple trips to the dump in the company car might be the only way to get the situation resolved.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
But as chance would have it, today all the property management planets seem to have aligned perfectly. Take a look at who's backing down the drive. It's Miles, and he's into it like a hurricane's prop forward into a flimsy Auckland back line. It turns out Miles had a feeling this property was going to be a bit of a handful, and that's why he swung by. Whilst the boys get to work downstairs, upstairs, Mitchell's doing a final walkthrough. This job is as good as done. A few weeks later, Jared's had some good news from the Tenancy Tribunal itself.
We had the Tenancy Tribunal hearing. We got the order for all the clearing out of the garage and some additional cleaning, and also for the rent arrears. We've had further discussions with the tenant, and we've now got her on a payment plan, and we'll see that money coming in over a period of time.
The weather may be bad, but the news appears to be good.
So I've had word from the boys that they've put in a humdinger of an effort, and we're going to go and check out and see whether that's the case or not. The weather is terrible, but I've still got to go check it because we've got tenants moving in soon. The boys have told me they've moved all the stuff from inside outside, and they've chucked it all on the garage, and apparently they've taken it away.
Unfortunately, Amy's in for a rude awakening. Her tenants have left her with piles of problems.
They have left us quite a lot of stuff to take away. It looks like they've actually just got a wee broom and just swept everything into the corner just here, and also a nice little pile of stuff here as well.
But this is Dunedin, and the sheer fact the house is still standing is cause for some celebration.
So our guy can just come in, load up his trailer. It's probably going to be a couple of loads, but at least we're going to get it all gone before the new tenants arrive, which is really good. So,
with cleaners booked for the inside of the house, Amy is happy to draw a line under this tenancy and look forward to the next one.